has ever truly good. No man has ever truly fall. I do the things you never could. And we will never be equal. C2 Wrestling is back with the news of Alistair Black.
Incredible news reported I seen by PW Insider, our boy Malakai Black, but we like to call him Alistair Black, seemingly done with AEW, rejoining the WWE. Seems imminent. Nothing's confirmed, but the rumors are circling. They've been circling for a while. They've been kind of shut down by Alistair in the past. He hasn't shut anything down this time around.
Look, this is strictly a video where we're going to talk about Alistair potentially coming back to WWE, what it means, who he could face, where he fits in, the era we're in now compared to when he was last in there. Do I think the story is true this time? Because as you mentioned, there's been plenty of times where this story has come out. I think this time it's true. This seems to have more legs on it. This seems to be more believable. And given the latest episode of AEW, where it seems they were writing the path of the rest of the House of Black to be freed from that faction, it makes me believe even more that Alistair Black is leaving, Malakai Black is leaving AEW.
Yep.
And if he's sticking with wrestling, I mean, I'd be stunned if he wasn't, I don't want to say home because I don't want to get people up in arms, but to us, comes home.
Yeah. You know, it's interesting. I didn't see AEW recently, but I seen online, I believe Buddy Matthews said something to Ospreay. We don't need
Other way around.
Was it?
Ospreay
Okay, yeah.
said it to Buddy Matthews.
To Buddy Matthews. Okay. All right. Fair. Yeah. It's just more indication that Alistair is on his way home, as we would say. A little off topic, but I got 4 different cents going here. I'm going to pass out. I got, like a Yankee candle right now. But all the fumes coming up,
Yeah.
But Alistair Black returning to WWE, man, that is, for me especially, a long time coming. I remember years ago, 5 years ago, when news came out that he had signed a 5-year contract with AEW. That was a heartbreak moment, honestly. That was like, oh, man, we're not going to see him back where he should be for 5 years. It's a quick 5 years, though. Our boy is on his way home.
It's quite interesting because obviously when he was last in WWE, Triple H was not in charge. And we saw the best of Alistair Black in NXT with Triple H in charge. Now, I'm not going to say I would have liked this long term, but I really enjoyed when he first got called up and was teaming with Ricochet. And they were actually in the Raw tag title match. The night before, they lose to the War Raiders for the NXT tag titles. Like, I enjoyed that little stint. And I thought maybe Vince would grab onto something like that, whatever. It was a little more like if Vince didn't love him right away, he probably was never going to love him.
Yeah.
We know Triple H loves him.
Oh, absolutely. If there's ever been like a Triple H guy, it's Alistair Black. Nobody has presented Alistair the way Triple H has. And man, he was over the moon for me. He really is, like, from look to in-ring ability, promo, style, entrance theme, all around top tier. It's one of the best wrestlers going. And, he fell in a odd timing in WWE. COVID had hit. The end of that Vince run. I don't blame him or anybody, Andrade, whoever else, for, jumping ship, going to AEW, getting a good paycheck, signing on for a few years. Also, 5 years ago, the idea was AEW would boost up, skyrocket a little bit, and it is plummeting, to say the least. So the writing's on the wall. If you are a guy like Alistair, like, you have to envision yourself, like, you can be a champion. And they have done, and I'm not even trying to shade AEW, they've done zero with Alistair Black. Yeah, he had his House of Black stable. Maybe they won trios titles, right? I don't even remember. Who cares? Who cares? They have not done anything credible with him over there. I've referenced to you many times, and I think back to this. Some others may disagree for a reasonable reason, but one of my favorite matches in history of wrestling WWE is Aleister Black versus Velveteen Dream at NXT War Games. That was one of those matches that had me literally on the edge of my seat, sold me on both of those competitors, especially Alistair, for the rest of the time. That right there was like, that's a world champion to me. I cannot wait to see him back.
He is, I like a lot of times when people say total package
Mm-hmm.
in wrestling, they immediately kind of put their mind to like a certain look. If you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying, like MJF, total package, but John Cena, Austin Theory, arguably like Theory more
Total
arguable,
package.
total packages.
Yeah.
These are kind of guys that are a little bit of blank canvases. And like,
Correct.
yes, they are the total package. They can do everything. Alistair is the total package without question that you got to be like, duh, he's the total package. He's unique. He's got great promo ability. He's unreal in the ring. The
Mm-hmm.
entrance, the presentation, the character, you name it. He is the whole kit and caboodle. Now, the big thing has always been getting him into interesting stories, which was also a part of the negative aspect of him in AEW. When he first joined and went after Cody, I was all in for that.
Mm-hmm.
Now, didn't really pan out after that, and obviously Cody leaves. I'm not going to say that's going to be he's going to jump right in and face Cody right away. But if you told me he shows up the Raw or SmackDown after Mania, lights go out, they come back on, and he hits Cody with a black mass, I am game. I am
Yeah.
all in on it.
Absolutely love the Black Mass as a finisher too. I love just like quick RKO type one shot finishers that are easy to pull off anywhere. Man, Alistair has endless opportunities if he comes back. And another big thing to him coming back is probably Zelina Vega. A lot of these competitors, you can be on separate companies, separate brands, and like not travel with one another, not see each other. It still works. But at a point, if I had the option to be in this company without my significant other or this company with them, and I can do better in that company, I mean, it's an obvious decision there. I'm sure AEW was giving him a bit of a bag to be over there, and he probably could resign for a bit more of a bag. But honestly, it's a shame because Alistair's one of my favorites ever. And it's kind of like 5 years of his prime wasted over in AEW. So he's only got so much left, still a matter of years, but why not spend it at the top in WWE?
So that's where it goes to this part of the conversation. It's kind of tough to be like, oh, do you think he'd be better on Raw or SmackDown? Because we're in the middle of this fucking transfer window, which who knows
Yeah.
if it'll ever end.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
And
actually top of the third of this transfer window.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it's a transfer window, but they didn't tell
Yeah.
us the window was just broken open and they're waiting
Yeah.
on the delivery of a new
Yeah.
window.
This game's going to have extra
Yeah,
innings too.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So it's like kind of tough to say like which brand would he fit better on. I think the better question is who would you have him face? I mean,
Yeah.
there's plenty of look. He left 5 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
5 years in wrestling may as well be 100 years in real time.
Yeah, wrestling years are pretty much dog years.
Yeah,
Like five
yeah.
years in wrestling is an eternity. There are countless, truly countless competitors for Alistair Black for championships, not for championships. I do have a name that immediately came to mind for me as a must see Alistair Black match. But I want to hear from you first. What's your Alistair dream match back in WWE?
Dream Matt. All right. Well, I'll flip it back to you. Is he
Okay.
heel or is he face? Because he could be literally whatever he wants.
He can be literally whatever he wants. So that gives me the answer to your choice. You can describe it. Is he heel in this match? Is he face in this match versus this competitor? You tell me.
Okay. If he is, this is like pure Homer of me. If he is face, there's two guys that came to mind, and people are going to be like, these are the first guys that came to your mind. It's what I want to see. It's
Yeah.
not what I'm not having him face Gunther right away.
Yeah, yeah.
If he comes back as a face, I would love him to take out Waller and Theory, and it
Okay.
goes into a feud that maybe that leads to Theory's face turn and getting away from Waller
From
because
Waller.
Waller
Yeah.
keeps kind of throwing him into Alistair. Like, dude, this guy creeps me out. He probably won't use the mist because Naka's using it, but
Yeah.
whatever. But on the flip side, if he stays face to Raw, I would love a Karrion Cross Alistair Black feud.
That fits the bill. Both of those I think are great. Karrion Cross as well on the come up does not get the credit he deserves. I've been a Karrion Cross guy. I've been a Killer Cross guy since day one. Let's put it that way. I would love both of those. Grayson Waller and Theory actually did not come to mind for me, but that's let alone a matchup. That's a fantastic couple week feud rivalry, which also has further implications of splitting up Waller and Theory.
I'm long-term booking, baby. Call me
Booking
Trips.
here. And, we've been on this wave since pre C2 wrestling. People have disagreed over time, but we are often right. I'm not trying to be cocky here, but Theory is going to be one of the best of all time. A Theory babyface run is going to feed families for years. But now when we're back, got something?
Also to add a little wrinkle, who brought Austin Theory to the main roster?
Was it Alistair? Oh my God.
It was Zelina Vega.
Oh, it was Zelina. That's right. During that COVID era. Yeah, that's right. Thunder.
I'm long-term booking over here.
Now Alistair, is he going to return with one eye? Let's see.
Maybe.
When it comes to him returning, there's many matches. And I agree with your same pretense. Like, of course I want to see Alistair face Gunther. That match is unbelievable. But I'm going a little sideball here. If Alistair's going to return as a face, I need Alistair versus Carmelo Hayes. That is two total packages. Both those guys can wrestle paper bags, and they're putting on 5-star clinics. Probably 2.5 stars to Dave Meltzer, but it's okay. Who cares? 5-star matches regardless. But if he's going to return as a heel, I truly think it doesn't even matter like the rivalry or the feud or how it happens. I think these two guys could put on maybe the best match of all time. I need to see Aleister Black versus Ilya Dragunov.
Ooh.
That is money. That is money.
Yeah, and honestly, we don't have like an exact date of Alistair's contract end and Ilya's return. They could be kind of around the same time.
They could be. Now, I did see, because we are on the road to the Royal Rumble, and we have talked about it off this channel. I would have loved to see that music hit number 2 in the Rumble. That would be incredible. That entrance would pop. I saw reported by PW Insider, apparently, everything's still rumored right now, that his contract is set to end with AEW around February, March. So that might take him out of the Rumble, but that's okay. Post-Mania, I don't think they try to squeeze him in pre-Mania, unfortunately, if he's not going to be at the Rumble. But, man, you put him at the Mania, Raw after Mania, SmackDown after Mania, whatever it is. Come on, I'm tuning in. I ain't taking my eyes off the TV. I want Aleister Black back, regardless of how it happens.
Yeah, and I don't want a video package return, in 3 weeks, whatever. I want, he is the type of guy, lights go out, they cut on, he's in the ring, and it's a shock. You do it the Raw after Mania or the SmackDown after Mania, hot crowd, whatever. That is must see. And there's so many guys, just like you mentioned, Carmelo Hayes, there's Solo Sikoa, Jacob Fatu, Theory, the list goes on and on. All the NXT people that have come up in recent time, the new people that have been brought in, like Braun Breaker, these are all fresh to him. It's kind of similar to when Cody came back and he was gone for so long that the new wave kind of took over. And no matter what, when he came back to face Rollins, it would be a new Rollins. It's not like it's the same person.
Correct.
Same thing with Punk. All these stories, even if he's faced these people before, it's basically new. They're nowhere near the same people. So for him, he comes back, and besides Andrade, it's an entire brand new roster for him to face.
It is. And, I was actually going to bring up a guy like Andrade and even a guy like Pentagon Jr., Pentagon Dark, whatever they're going to be calling him in WWE. These are guys that have maybe wrestled in AEW. He's faced Andrade, he's faced Pentagon. But it intrigues me to see what these two guys are going to do in a WWE ring. Andrade and Alistair have probably faced in WWE prior to them jumping ship over. But it's a new era. These guys are, again, 5-6 years after the fact. They're new competitors. It's new in-ring styles, abilities. There's so much opportunity for Alistair. I do completely agree. He's one of those guys. He's just got to return. No vignette. No, nothing booking him for 3 weeks out. Have him just show up and return. He's a guy that you really have the opportunity to put a title on him within the month, and you are working with something good here. You have Alistair return after Mania. Braun Breaker is still Intercontinental Champion. Alistair returns to confront Braun Breaker. If Breaker's ever going to lose to anybody, it's It's got to be a reasonable competitor. Nothing against Tozawa. I don't think Tozawa's taking the IC title off Braun Breaker. Alistair's one of those names that I would sign up for. Let's get Alistair taking that IC title off Braun.
Crazy stray for Tozawa, but we still we still send our love.
Still love Tozawa.
Yeah.
Tozawa's great, but
To wrap things up here, there's one thing that I know we're on the same page about, but we have to speak about out loud when it comes to Aleister Black, because it is a problem in WWE.
Yeah.
He, like, I'm not saying if this isn't the case, don't have him come back at all, but it would be asinine to return him with a new theme song.
It would be asinine. And, towards the end of his WWE run, they changed his theme. It was no longer the Root of All Evil song, which is, it's arguably the greatest theme of all time. There's some bangers out there, don't get me wrong, but it is really up there. And not only is just a song, you can argue My Time, Triple H is the greatest theme ever, Slow Chemical for Kane. But I don't know if there's ever been a theme that fits a superstar as much as Aleister's theme, and everything fits his look, his ability. It's just crazy to even think he might come back with a different theme. When he transitioned themes over, that was under that tail end of the Vince regime. Vince regime was changing everything. People were coming up with different names, different looks, styles, everything. Triple H seems to have the proper look into what's to come, what the people want. I'd be surprised if he comes back with anything other than that original theme, that original entrance.
It's not impossible because they are big on like fresh starts. They're new people at this point. He's not going to come back and be the exact same Aleister Black as he was in NXT. We don't expect that, and we don't really want that because he's changed. He's a different guy now. It's been over 5 years, but some things are so good that it feels wrong to change.
Absolutely. That theme really has to stay, in my opinion. And who knows, maybe they drop some other banger that is just as good in a different way, but it's hard to top that song. It's a hard one to put out something better than. It adds to his character, man. It really does. Regardless, though, Aleister Black, whether it's the Rumble, the Chamber, Mania, Post-Mania, get him back in WWE.
Yeah, and if all needed, I'll sing the damn theme. It won't be good, but if that's a rendition we need. But we have plenty of good stuff coming on the channel that you got to be tapped into. Reviews, reactions, you name it. Live streams. We'll be live for Saturday night's main event. We'll be live for the Royal Rumble, which will be insane. We will probably go nuts during every return. Debut, who knows what could happen? Who knows who wins? But you got to be tapped in to see our thoughts and our reactions. So subscribe, turn on notifications so you know every time we post, and comment down below. Do you want Aleister Black in WWE, or are you just a hater?
I think there's some haters out there, but I think the majority of people agree with C2 Wrestling. Put Aleister back in that WWE ring. For now, I'm Snowden, CTD. This is C2 Wrestling.